you're 55 this year.
I'm 55 this year, and I'll turn 56 on Halloween.
On Halloween, okay. All right. And the next guy, Mr. Johnson is, we were supposed to have Mr. Johnson, and his birthday is tomorrow. Okay, James Jordan. James, you're 55 years old. You've been incarcerated 7 of 15 years. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And my indication tells me that you completed the first 2 phases of your sex offender treatment. Is that correct?
No, sir, that's not correct.
Okay, give me the update.
Last week, I passed phase 3 into phase 4.
Okay, so you're in phase 4 right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so tell me some of the things that you found out about yourself and found out about the effect that your crime had on the victim.
Well, I learned a lot from victim awareness, and I'm taking it a second time. It really shook my world up here.
But I wanna know what you learned from sex offender treatment.
From the sex offenders treatment, I learned to identify which risk factor I'm at, what is affecting me, and what I need to do to get a hold of the situation and not to reoffend. Whether I'm at a low risk, high risk, or even a medium risk. How to reach out to get help instead of saying to myself, I can deal with this on my own, and I can't. There's a lot of things in life you can't deal with on your own. I learned that like risk factor 27, alcohol and drugs was one of my problems. That was my biggest risk factor. And I really appreciate the people here that's helped me learn a lot about myself and change myself.
Very good. Now tell me, you were starting to explain what effect victim awareness had on you. So finish that explanation and tell me about victim awareness.
I've really never grasped the concept of what the effect of victim awareness, and it ain't just my victim that I did this to, but my other children are victims. My family's a victim. By my actions, that's what caused the victim. And they're all hurt. My grandkids are hurt because of what I
had on you. So finish that explanation and tell me about victim
I've really never grasped the concept of what the effect of victim awareness, and it ain't just my victim that I did this to, but my other children are victims. My family's a victim. If I could help them in any way I could, like I said, I would, but honestly, I don't know what I could do to help them. That's something that I hadn't learned yet. Even if I serve the whole thing, they're still going to be suffering. Long after I'm gone, they're going to be suffering. And that's the biggest pain in my mind and my heart that I had to deal with, that I hurt my babies.
Okay, so at this stage, if you had an opportunity, and you can't speak to the victims directly because it's against the law, but if you had the opportunity to speak to the victims, what would you tell them?
I absolutely apologize for what I've done. The hurt and the pain that I have caused is unexcusable. I know this. And I would just ask that you forgive me. There's another thing I learned here, and I learned that from the chat. In order to ask God to forgive, you got to learn to forgive. I had to learn to forgive the people that gave me pain and hurt in my life when I was a child.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Mr. Jordan has a low risk assessment score, has a low static 99 score, which are both very good, and he has no disciplinary issues in 7 years of incarceration. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is your job at the facility? What do you do on a daily basis?
I work in the North Kitchen
Now, how long have you been in the kitchen?
since 18.
About 4 years.
Yes, sir.
If released today, what is your transition plan? Where do you plan to live, and where do you plan to work?
I plan to live with up there by my son, Junior. He owns some trailers up there, and he has one ready with Rosie Helverson. She's going to be staying with me. I've got a job offered through American Shipbuilders. I'm an electrician by trade. And I'm friends with his grandson. And his grandson has been talking to his grandfather about hiring me on down there. They just signed a 20-year contract to do military destroyers down there in South Louisiana.
Right. Warren Goodwin, would you like to make any comments, remarks, or observations?
I don't have much, Mr. Roche. James Jordan's record pretty much speaks for itself. He's been pretty honest and straightforward with you. He hasn't had any disciplinary issues since he's arrived at this institution. He is a good worker. He works hard in the kitchen for us. He's been in the kitchen for a pretty good while now, and he's been participating in programs, continues to participate in programming, and I think he should, if the parole board is gracious enough to give him a favorable recommendation today, I think he should have to at least complete the sex offender programming and some additional programming, including substance abuse, prior to his release.
Thank you for your good one. Just to let you know, Mr. Jordan, you have a tremendous amount of opposition to your early release. The judge in the first JDC, the sentencing judge, is opposed. The district attorney's office in the first JDC is adamantly opposed. The sheriff's office is opposed. The chief of police is opposed. The victim is opposed. And as I said before, the victim has said she is still mentally, physically, and emotionally affected by these sex offenses. And I have to take into consideration also, Mr. Jordan, you've only served 7 years of a 15-year sentence, which you agreed upon. You haven't completed sex offender treatment. You haven't taken substance abuse education or a substance abuse program. And I'd like to see you take some parenting classes. So, I will make my decision at the end of the interview, but I have to take all of those things into consideration when I vote. Mr. Wise?
I have one question. Mr. Jordan, the record shows that you have 14 children. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I have one set that's grown and one set that ain't.
Okay, so there's 2 mothers involved with 14 children.
There's 3 mothers.
3 mothers,
I've
okay.
been married 3 times. I'm still
Gotcha.
legally married.
Okay, yeah, your record says that you were married. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't a typo. All right then. How many grandkids?
I got 13 grandkids. And I just found out last night that I got another one on the way.
All right. Wonderful. That's all I had, Chairman.
And that's another thing I've had to answer to with all the rest of my family about my actions. I've had to discuss it in detail with them.
Mr. Freeman?
Mr. Jordan, do you now take full responsibility for the charges that you were charged with? Do you agree that you did commit them?
I agree to the one on Gloria, but I don't agree with the other ones. I don't. I got in 2011, I know you're looking at it. I wasn't even there with them. I was over 20 miles away at my best friend's house for over 2 weeks when all that took place. My current wife was at her ex-husband's house with the kids, and I wasn't allowed there. That's why initially the charges got dropped. And then they brought them back up again on this one, and they got dropped because the kids were telling them he didn't do this. I'm right now with LaSalle Parish in the social services with my younger children because they're in state custody, you know, fighting for the parental rights and asking for a chance to get out so I can start paying to take care of those kids.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we're going to allow Ms. Rosie Helpson to speak. Ms. Helpson?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Do you have a statement?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Please give us your statement now.
My statement is that he's better and everything. Like he said, he wants to come live with me and everything. But he's gonna go to work and everything like that. But he is trying to get better.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sir?
Continue.
Sir, he's trying to get better and everything. They're trying to go to work and everything, trying to take care of his kids and everything. But
Thank you, Ms. Rosie. Mr. James Jordan Jr., would you like to make a statement?
Yes, sir. How you doing today?
They're the same room, obviously. Dumb.
We are getting some feedback. If you have anything else on, would you please turn it off? If you have you, turn it off.
I'm trying to get my video up.
you can't video it.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. How you doing today? I'm sorry. I was trying to get my phone up and working.
Okay. Give us your statement.
Yes, sir. I have some trailers. I have one actually up and ready for them. He's gonna live with my aunt, and if he can't get a job at the ship millers, he can come work with me. You know, he calls me and we talk about everything. You know, every week he calls me and we chit chat about what he did, and he understands what he did. And like I told you, if you forgive, we all forgive. You know, he done 7 years. You know, he's been locked down for a minute. You know. We're just ready for him to come home and he can start living life, you know. And like I told him, the first step of admitting what you did, you know. And I told him that you told us that all our lives, you know. Admit what your wrongs are and continue, you know. If God can forgive, we can forgive.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank
At
you.
this time, we're going to hear from the opposition, Ms. Gloria Jordan.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Gordon, would you give us your statement?
Yes, sir. Let me start by saying this man does not deserve to be out of jail. I am one of many victims, which some didn't come forward because they were scared. I'm scared for my life, my family's life. I've already been threatened to be killed by this man. I went through years of therapy, and still to this day I have therapy. I have PTSD, anxiety, and severe depression. I have to live with this every day, and I feel like he hasn't served enough crimes for the crimes he committed against his own daughters. I'm done.
Thank you, Ms. Jordan.
Thank you.
Mr. Jordan,
Yes, sir.
would you like to make a brief statement before we vote?
I never threatened any of my children's lives. I might have done what I've done on that, but I never threatened any of my children's lives. I might be a sex offender, but I'm not a killer. And I have to live with that for the rest of my life, what I've done to her. But I never threatened any of my children's lives.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Is the panel ready to vote? Yes. Mr. Jordan, your case is a little difficult for me. You served 7 years of a 15-year sentence. But I don't think you're quite ready to be released yet. You just started the vote phase of sex offender treatment. You just started living in balance, and you're on the waiting list for anger management. And we have to consider that you had a met addiction for over 20, 25 years. And that is one of the worst addictions a person can have. And you need some kind of long-term substance abuse treatment after you have living in balance. So based on your need for additional rehabilitative programs, opposition from the judge, law enforcement, and the DA's office, victim opposition, my vote is to deny your request until you have an opportunity to complete sex offender treatment, living in balance, and some type of substance abuse treatment program.
Amen.
If I grant you today, you have to complete all of that in 9 months. And I think it's almost impossible for you to complete all of that in 9 months. So do that. Once you complete all of those, reapply, and it may be a different story next time. That's why.
To Miss Gloria, I just want to appreciate you for the courage, determination it took for you to speak, to be a voice today in this hearing. I appreciate you. You're doing better than you think you are. You're doing better than you know. And I just want you to know that.
You are strong.
Mr. Jordan, it has been difficult. It has been difficult. I do want to commend you on the work you've done on yourself. I'm glad to hear, because you got a big 15-year sentence. You're going to be out in the community someday.
Yeah, he is.
And from what I'm hearing today, you're going to be a different person. But for me today, my vote also is denied for the reasons I already been articulated. But also for me, the age of the victim and the nature of the crime is also my reason for denying. And I too join Mr. Roshi. I urge you to reapply after you what the warden recommended on those programs. Sit on the front row and really get it. Best wishes to you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. White.
I agree that you do need to complete those classes, and the outcome may be different next time. But I'd really like to hear you quit saying I might have done, because I believe you've done.
Yeah.
So, you got to realize what you've done and the pain it caused, but you realize that part of it. But,
Sick son of a bitch.
do those classes and then come back and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Mr. George, you have received 3 votes to deny your request. Your request for early release has been denied. You have a good day.
So his request was denied, and I just want to say I did another case. I don't usually do the parole cases. I wanted to do it because I wanted to show the contrast, right? I did a case recently about an African American man, and he had done a robbery and had shot at a woman when he was 18, 19, and he got 25 to life, I think. And he was doing his 25 to life, and he had been in jail for 23 years, and they denied his parole as well. And he isn't out yet, right? And this guy, 7 years of a 15-year sentence, touched his own children and other children, and he will be out. He will walk among us. So I know the statistics of sexual abuse, and they're high for both females and males. And because they're high and because it's such a hard topic, I think sometimes, like she said, I'm still struggling with this to this day, that the lady said who spoke. It's hard for us to go, or hard for people to go and speak and try to get laws changed, right? We've got to change these laws. He should never get out, right? I mean, I just don't understand it. I really don't. We have to change these laws. We have to. If somebody who sells drugs or is on a conspiracy for selling drugs or something can get life, and somebody who, to me, it's a conspiracy to abuse multiple children in your own family. To me, that's a conspiracy. You have conspired to abuse multiple children in your own family, right? Because you have literally planned it out. That's what I believe that people like him do. They've conspired, plotted, and planned, right? To abuse the children in their family. That is a conspiracy. That's a plan, a plot. And they're sick. He'll be out within the next maybe 5 years. Let's pray that he's not in a town near you, okay? Because this could be the guy next door to you.